everyone. So I was recently just talking to a friend of mine who is a Beachbody coach, and I was talking to her on Facebook because she had commented on a photo I recently just uploaded of a Mormon joke. Kind of, you know how when you see things, like, I have one up that says Staten Island, what, upstate New Yorkers think I do, what the South thinks I do, what, things like that. So I had uploaded one about an hour or so ago about Mormons, because I am a Mormon. But I realized when I'm looking through my videos, I don't have any actual videos about being a Mormon. And even though it says it on my Facebook, you don't really notice. So this video is going to be a little bit about that. So, quick little start of it. I was born and raised in New York City. My parents are Mormons. They got converted maybe about a year or so after they got married, and I think it was 1981. That's when they got converted. They got married in 1980. And when I was older, I asked my father why, because both my parents were Catholic at the time, and he goes, these young guys, because my dad was 20 when they got married, these young guys had such a strong conviction, such a strong love of their faith, it made me want to learn more. And that's why they converted. From what I've been told, my mom did get baptized when she was pregnant with me, so I actually got baptized twice. I was born and raised in the church. My parents and my sisters were the only ones who were Mormon besides myself. Both sides of my family are Catholic. And they really didn't like it, or didn't, just didn't care or whatever that we were Mormon. But we went to church every Sunday for 3 hours from 10 to 1. And growing up, I really didn't know what it was to really be Mormon. I mean, I went to a Catholic school because of my birth defect. And I did get baptized in the Catholic Church, and I did have my Holy Communion done. So when it came to religion class and I brought my Bible, which was completely different from every other kid, I got a little harassed by the religion teacher and the kids and whatnot. But I really didn't know what it was like to be Mormon, because I was living with my grandparents at the time. So living with my grandmother meant going to a Catholic church for 35, 40 minutes, and then you were done. And that was it. And you can go on a Saturday. Mormons don't do that. We go to church on Sundays for 3 hours. So I didn't really understand what it was like to be Mormon until I was about 13 years old, when I was back with my parents, and I started what's called Young Women's, which was a group for, obviously, young women adults from 12 to 18. And I started figuring out what I like to wear, what I like to listen to, and that's when it kind of hit me. My friends were wearing baggy jeans and tight shirts and listening to hip-hop. And I was kind of wearing overalls with t-shirts and listening to Alanis Morissette without the cursing. So, growing up Mormon for me was a little difficult, because as I got more into the religion, my sisters, who were all just a couple years younger than me, started rebelling and going more with the normal society, because Mormons, we don't drink alcohol, we don't really drink soda unless it's like root beer, because it's non-caffeinated. We don't watch dirty movies, R-rated movies, we don't curse, we don't date till we're 16. Me, I wasn't really dating, my sisters were, and they were not dating at 16, they were actually dating younger. I know a lot of my friends in the church, we did start to rebel. We would buy, the spray can hair dye that you buy for Halloween. We buy that and kind of get our branch president kind of mad at us, because we were trying to blend in, but show him at the same time that we're still faithful to the church. And it didn't really hit me until I was probably about 18, 19 years old, and I'm in the military. And I'm realizing that when I go to church in the military ward, I'm the only soldier, the only female soldier. So I'm stuck around all these male soldiers. There are female soldiers who are members, but I never saw them. And it was kind of a bad kind of like thing towards me, or not bad, but it was more of a, I wouldn't say shock, but it was kind of like, oh, look at her, she's the goody two-shoes, she's going to church, she's doing this and doing that, and my sisters were calling me Molly Mormon since I think 15 years old, and if you're a Mormon, you know the joke. But when I started realizing that I was gay and I already had a couple tattoos, I started seeing the different looks that I was getting from church members. And I didn't want to tell anybody that I was gay because I was afraid of being excommunicated. Being both Catholic and Mormon for me was such a difficult strain that I just kind of dropped the whole Catholic altogether, because to me, I truly am a Mormon. I mean, yeah, I drink every now and then, and I do curse, but I do pray at night. I do sing primary songs in my head, and when I do dress, I do kind of dress kind of modestly, minus my bathing suit. So to me, I will be a Mormon until the day I die. I've done baptisms for the dead in the temple. I actually have my endowments. I actually did them when I was in Korea, and the whole service was in Korean, and it's very odd and very cool. But as I sat there, I was able to understand every single word throughout the whole ceremony. And then once it was done and, whatnot, I didn't understand a lick of Korean again. But that was very cool. And I also got my patriarchal blessing when I was in AIT in South Carolina in Fort Jackson. So for me, being a Mormon is just being who I am. It's reading the Mormon funnies and watching the Mormon movies. I recently watched The Other Side of Heaven the other day, which was a Disney movie, but it was about a Mormon missionary, and I put up funny Mormon jokes, and I talked to a lot of different Mormons, and for me, being a Mormon is just being who I am, because no matter what I do, Heavenly Father is still going to love me for who I am, because He made me the way I am. But I realized being on YouTube, I haven't really showed or told anybody about myself in that aspect. Because growing up, it was difficult. I would go to school and people would find out I'm Mormon, and they're like, so, how many mothers do you have? Does your dad have more than one wife? Do you all sleep in the same bed and wear the same pair of holy underwear? I mean, it's funny, but it's not how Mormons really are. We're very loving people. We're very family-oriented. That's just the nature of who we are. I love being a Mormon. I may not go to church, but I love who I am. And I hope that if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask. I do love watching Sister Wives, even though it is about polygamy, because a lot of the aspect of the family portion of it is what Mormons are about. I do watch Mormon movies such as Singles Ward and The RM and Charlie. A lot of old school Mormon movies. I love Johnny Lingo. I do know how to sign Love One Another, because we all learned it. I do have a CTR ring that I have in my jewelry box. Being a Mormon is being, I don't know how to put this. Being a Mormon is being loved. Loved by everybody. Because no matter who you are, what you do, you're always going to find love somewhere. You go to a different city, you tell people you're a Mormon among other Mormons, and you're automatically accepted. I know Seattle's Pride this weekend, Mormon for Equality march down in their parade, in their Pride Parade. I believe it was in San Francisco that did as well. And that's mostly for the gay Mormons coming out. There's a group called Affirmation. But that's just a little bit of who I am as a Mormon. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I'm always there to answer them. and have a good day.